Welcome to today's video, where we will dive deep into the life of Sandor Clegane, better known as the Hound. Sandor is one of the most complex and fascinating characters in Game of Thrones. A man of violence and brutality, but also capable of loyalty, redemption, and unexpected kindness. We will cover his backstory, major moments in his journey, relationships, inner conflict, and the role he plays in the overall story of Game of Thrones. Let's get started. Sandor Clegane was born into House Clegane, a family known for their brutality and loyalty to the Lannisters. Sandor's family is of noble status, but not particularly high-ranking. His older brother, Gregor Clegane, known as the Mountain, plays a significant role in shaping Sandor's personality and views on the world. One of the most important and tragic events of Sandor's early life was the infamous incident where Gregor held his face in a fire when they were both children. This event not only left Sandor with severe physical scars, but also psychological ones that fueled his hatred for his brother and distrust of knights and the nobility. Despite coming from a noble family, Sandor rejected the ideals of knighthood. He saw knights as hypocrites, men who pretended to follow a code of honor but often engaged in brutal, selfish acts. Sandor becomes a brutal warrior in his own right and eventually serves House Lannister, specifically King Joffrey Baratheon. As part of the King's Guard, Sandor is known for his ruthless nature and brutal fighting skills. However, what makes him stand out is that he never accepts the title of Sir, the knight's title, despite his prowess. This is because of his deep-seated contempt for the concept of knighthood. During his time serving the Lannisters, Sandor carries out many violent deeds, but there are small signs of his inner turmoil. His loyalty to the Lannisters is more out of necessity than genuine devotion. He's a survivor in a brutal world, and working for the Lannisters ensures his survival. However, it's also clear that he despises King Joffrey, who is sadistic and immature. Despite serving him, Sandor often acts as a protector for those Joffrey targets, including Sansa Stark. One of the most intriguing relationships Sandor develops is with Sansa Stark. At first, Sansa sees Sandor as nothing more than a monstrous and violent figure. However, as time goes on, she begins to understand the complexity beneath his rough exterior. Sandor, in his own way, tries to protect Sansa from Joffrey's cruelty. He even offers to help her escape King's Landing during the Battle of Blackwater. Though Sansa ultimately declines his offer, their relationship marks a significant moment in Sandor's development. His interactions with Sansa reveal his softer side, as he becomes almost protective of her. It is a glimpse into Sandor's potential for redemption, something we will see further along in his journey. The Battle of Blackwater is a turning point for Sandor. Up until this moment, he has been known for his fearless brutality. However, the use of wildfire during the battle brings back traumatic memories of his childhood when Gregor burned his face. Overcome by his fear of fire and disgusted by the violence surrounding him, Sandor deserts his post. This is a significant moment in his character arc, because it is the first time Sandor truly rejects the world he has been a part of for so long. His decision to leave King's Landing and the Lannisters is not just an act of cowardice, but also a step toward seeking a new path, away from the horrors he has been forced to commit. After deserting King's Landing, Sandor encounters Arya Stark, and the two form an unlikely and fascinating partnership. Initially, Sandor plans to ransom Arya off to her family, but over time, their relationship evolves into something more complicated. Arya is initially filled with hatred for Sandor because he killed her friend, Micah, on Joffrey's orders. However, much like his relationship with Sansa, Sandor's interactions with Arya reveal his capacity for something other than violence. As they travel together, Arya learns that Sandor is also practical and honest about the harsh realities of the world. Sandor, in turn, seems to develop a sense of responsibility for Arya, protecting her in multiple dangerous situations. This period of Sandor's life is crucial to his development, as it further distances him from the violent, unthinking brute he once was. Throughout Game of Thrones, Sandor is constantly battling with his inner demons. He despises the world of knights and lords, yet he is trapped in that very world. His hatred for his brother, Gregor, defines much of his early life, but as the series progresses, Sandor begins to struggle with the idea of redemption. The Hound starts as a character who seems devoid of hope, simply existing in a world of violence. However, his relationships with characters like Sansa, Arya, and later on Beric Dondarrion, and the Brotherhood without banners, force him to confront his moral standing. Can he be more than just a killer? Is there a chance for him to find some peace? Or is he doomed to remain trapped by his violent past? At one point in his journey, Sandor joins the Brotherhood without banners. This group, while violent in their own right, represents a different path for Sandor. They fight for a cause, and their leader has been brought back from the dead multiple times by the Lord of Light. Sandor initially dismisses the group's ideals and their belief in redemption and divine purpose. However, as he spends more time with them, he begins to question his own fate. His growing belief that perhaps there is a larger plan for him is solidified in Season 7, when he sees a vision in the flames of the White Walkers marching on the wall. For a man so terrified of fire, this is a significant moment, as it marks the beginning of Sandor's path toward accepting a larger purpose in the battle against the White Walkers. The final confrontation between Sandor and his brother, Gregor. Throughout the series, Sandor's hatred for his brother has been a constant driving force in his life. The mountain represents everything Sandor despises: brutality, mindless violence, and cruelty without remorse. In the final season, during the destruction of King's Landing, Sandor confronts Gregor in a brutal fight that ends with both brothers falling to their deaths in a fiery pit. This moment is the culmination of Sandor's lifelong struggle with his brother, and in a way, it represents the end of his quest for vengeance. Sandor dies fighting the one person who has haunted him his entire life. And while tragic, it is also a fitting conclusion for a character who has been defined by his trauma and need for retribution. Sandor Clegane's story is one of transformation and redemption. While he starts as a violent and seemingly irredeemable character, his journey through Game of Thrones shows us a man grappling with his past and searching for something more. His relationships with the Stark sisters, his moments of moral questioning, and his ultimate role in the fight against the White Walkers, all show a man capable of change. The Hound is not a traditional hero, but he is one of the most human characters in the series, filled with contradictions and complexity. In the end, Sandor Clegane's legacy is not just as a warrior, but as a man who fought against his own demons, both external and internal. And that concludes our deep dive into the life of Sandor Clegane the Hound. His character arc is one of the most compelling in Game of Thrones, full of raw emotion, brutal violence, and, ultimately, a search for redemption. What do you think about the Hound's journey? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.